Did you know that your phone is like a pocket-sized planet Earth? Without its rare minerals, you won't be able to do anything. Like in the middle of a meeting, your phone is on silent, but you feel this as soon as you get a text. That super strong vibration motor is because of neodymium, and China is producing roughly 80% of this element. Then the camera lens you'll use to click those very perfect selfies. You can thank lanthanum for that. Crystal clear shot. This element is actually found in many places, but again, mostly comes from China, over 62% of global production. In fact, you know how some phones have this very shining display that makes the midnight binge more exciting? That's actually a team effort of rare earth phosphors. Yttrium brings the brightness, europium brings the bold reds, and terbium the glowing greens. And where do they come from? Well, you guessed it, it is China. It dominates rare earth production in all of these three elements as well. But think about it, this is just a phone we are talking about. What about the bigger things? Television sets, electric cars, MRI machines, fighter jets, even satellites. You name it, and it contains rare earth minerals. And China is the undisputed king here. And you know what they say, what lies buried beneath the ground often defines what happens above it.
I have always spoken about China's domination of the rare earth permanent magnets market and how that can be used for economic leverage.
I will also take historic action to dramatically expand production of critical minerals and rare earths here in the USA.
Россия является одним из безусловных лидеров по запасам этих редких и редкоземельных металлов. Они у нас.
Semiconductors और rare earth minerals हमारे एजेंडे में सबसे ऊपर रहेंगे.
I know it all seems like complicated chemistry, but some people read the fine print and can not only tell you where this industry is, but where geopolitics is heading. And one such man is Dr. Jost, someone who will help us understand the real weapon of the 21st century. I'm Ananya Dutta, and this is Now You Know. Remember that giant periodic table hanging on your classroom wall? The one with all the colorful squares that seemed impossible to memorize? Hidden in there is a special family, 17 elements we call rare earths. They live mostly at the bottom rows of the table in that little box teachers told you to ignore. Well, turns out those are the ones that run our modern world. These strange, tongue-twisting metals are very complex to understand, but the complexities they bring to today's geopolitics are definitely bigger.
It's definitely a geopolitical tool. It's not only China, but I think it's quite evident that we are in a world now where control over supply chains and geopolitics go hand in hand together.
It's best to understand through maps, so let's first see where in the world they are. Rare earths might not be rare in general, they're rare in general concentrations. China has more rare earth minerals than the next 7 countries combined, making for nearly half of the total. Brazil makes a quarter, then India, Australia, Russia, Vietnam, the US, Greenland and Canada trailing behind. And all the other countries marked also have rare earths, just in smaller quantities.
Supply is not only about mining, it's also about the refinery. So as you know, rare earth elements, these are 17 elements with super similar characteristics. So it's really hard to separate them from each other. And China really has a technological advantage in separation of these elements. So even if you can mine outside of China, you still have to refine them. It's a dirty process, it's a difficult process.
Now let's bring another map of all the conflicts from this year, 2025. You have the Russia-Ukraine war, the brutal leveling of Gaza, the 12-day war between Israel and Iran, internal conflicts in the DRC, a civil war in Sudan, terror groups in the Sahel region, the May war between India and Pakistan, Cambodia and Thailand's border skirmish that finally ended in a truce, and then, of course, Armenia and Azerbaijan. They also signed a peace deal in Washington. You'll see uncanny resemblance in the two maps, which is not a fluke, by the way. There is extensive research going on to show that rare earth prices and geopolitical risks are interdependent.
The access to rare earths will also define your military capabilities. Just one example, the rare earth element samarium, very specific element in the end, but they are essential to samarium cobalt magnets. And these magnets are used a lot in defense technologies, like jet fighters and so on. So it's really critical, and samarium has been also among the elements that China has controlled for export.
And China is the king here for a reason. It bet on rare earths much before other countries even knew that this would be the future. Back in 2010, a maritime spat with Japan over a few disputed islands spiraled into something nobody could have imagined. China brought an unexpected weapon to the game. It temporarily ceased exports of rare earths to Japan. The embargo sent the Japanese industry into panic, especially the automobile sector. At that time, Tokyo was totally dependent on Beijing for nearly 90% of its imports. Within the next year, prices of rare earths soared 10 times. For the very first time, this kind of hardballing raised questions about China's ability to weaponize critical minerals as a geopolitical tool. But you see, there isn't much the world can do. China is home to roughly 50% of the world's rare earths, and it produces 97% of the world's supply. And because it is China, the regulations are sketchy.
It's using them as a way to leverage its position and exert pressure on the US. And from my perspective, it actually worked very well. Because the reason that the US actually went back to the negotiation table and did actually stop the escalation spiral was exactly because China used these rare earths, this tool basically for rare earth minerals. And I would say it really hurt the US.
The so-called superpower, the United States of America, finds itself powerless in this situation. It has just 4% of what China has. And unlike the Middle East and Africa, Washington can't just get up and invade China. So it does the next best thing. President Donald Trump is obsessed with these strategic resources, and he has been signing deals right, left and center. First, at home.
I will also take historic action to dramatically expand production of critical minerals and rare earths here in the USA.
Then with Ukraine, the Democratic Republic of Congo and Rwanda, eyeing Greenland's riches, a possible deal with China.
The interesting thing, the mine that is available in the US, the Mountain Pass mine, it produces a lot of rare earth, but all of those, or almost all of those, are light rare earth. So in the past, MP Materials, the company, the US company that is behind Mountain Pass in the US, in the past, they would send their rare earth to China for refinery. That is a practice that happened, until end of last year, basically.
And these are deals that at least we get to know about. There is no established trade structure for rare earth minerals. Like for companies, we have the share market. For securities, we have the stock exchange. And for metals, we have the London Metal Exchange. But rare earths are mostly swapped in backroom style, over-the-counter deals. No real oversight, no clear pricing, no way to know how much is truly being mined or sold. This is mostly off the books, and it helps the big players. But for the world, it means manipulation, supply shocks, and geopolitical strong arming.
Now, definitely, we are coming into an age where critical minerals, this group of critical minerals, will become kind of the new oil, where also geopolitical tensions will emerge. It's a general mindset of elite that it is okay to use the new oil for exerting pressure on others, and I think that will rather become the normal than the exception.
You know, there's something almost poetic about this. The rare earths buried deep under the ground, ignored for centuries, now shape wars, economies, and the future. It's a reminder that the tiniest things often carry the biggest weight. The elements powering your midnight Netflix binge, your GPS map, or your boring Zoom calls are the same ones, powering missiles, satellites, and global rivalries. So the next time your phone buzzes, ask yourself, is it just a notification or the location of the next war? If you didn't know before, now you know.